All right, so we're recording. Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a testimonial and volunteering to be one. I know we just finished our one-on-one coaching program a few weeks ago, so I'm excited to have the opportunity for you to kind of share just what your overall experience was like, and especially for those that are new to coaching and or to me. So without further ado, I'd love to ask Joy, can you please introduce yourself and just give a little bit of background, probably like your, no, not your age, that's not right, but your corporate profession, just anything you'd like to share.
Sure. So I'm Joy Contreras. I'm born and raised in Long Beach. And ever since I was young, I was always very passionate about helping others and serving to a cause greater than myself. So I constantly searched for roles that aligned with that, whether it was in the nonprofit or in the education field, which primarily a lot of my professional background is in. And I've done that for quite some time. And then I switched over to the private sector, which was exciting, but also a little bit nerve-wracking. But my role that I'm in right now, I'm a project manager for a strategic communications and marketing firm. And we are pitching and kind of selling the idea of a better environment. So it's still cause-based, but I'm now in a position where I'm a little bit more comfortable. So, I've switched from nonprofit education and now I'm in marketing. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. That's like your tell me about yourself, I just realized. And it was so clear
Okay,
and well thought out. Love it. Okay, so if you could, Joy, I'd love if you can share, why did you reach out in the first place? Like, what was happening in your life that made you realize, maybe I should look into career coaching?
Sure. So though I was really enjoying what I was doing because I was learning a lot, taking a lot of new exciting projects, especially helping out the environment, which is one of my passions, there was a point, I believe last summer, where I felt really stuck. And where I felt stuck in was I didn't feel very confident in promoting myself to my boss. I also didn't feel assertive enough with my team in, letting them know that although I wasn't a project manager at the time, I was a project lead, making sure that they felt comfortable with my leadership. So I was lacking confidence and I was kind of lacking assertiveness and feeling stuck, kind of like doing a lot of work, but not having the position title or the pay to go along with that. So that's kind of where I was. And that's when I started looking for a career coach.
Awesome. Yeah, I know we worked a lot on assertiveness, communication, really getting paid what you're worth and the title to reflect all of that, which we'll go into. But I'm also curious, like, how did you ultimately decide to work with me and or did you look at other coaches? Share a little bit about your process of selecting.
Sure. So I did work previously with a career coach through my graduate school, Pepperdine actually, and that was a really great resource at the time. But that was when I was in grad school, and that was a little bit more like resume building. But so I knew I didn't necessarily need that support, but I was looking more for support in negotiation, but also confidence building. So I subscribed to The Muse, and I actually stumbled upon one of your career coach tips of the day.
Oh, cool.
And one of the e-newsletters. And I think I probably saw you in other places, but that was the most memorable. And I clicked on your profile. I was like, wow, this girl seems awesome. And looked through your website, and I loved the website and your marketing, by the way.
Thank
And
you.
like read through kind of your philosophy and career coaching. And I signed up for one of your bookings, and that's kind of what my process was. It was pretty fast, actually.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, no, I love that. And I love that you brought up like career coaching in schools. Like they typically help you with resume preparation and all of that, which is one component, but it's a small component of really having a happy career in the long haul.
Right.
So I'm glad The Muse connected us. Yeah, they're an amazing resource, by the way, for whoever's watching this and you're a millennial. They primarily target millennials, but just
Yeah.
really giving practical career advice and tips too. So I love them, but I'm glad they connected us. So that being said, okay, so you moved over to career coaching. Talk to me, like, as I was sharing, like, the investment and the
Mhm.
process, like, what kind of fears and apprehensions came up, if any?
Sure. Some of it was, well, I guess to be very honest, when people feel, or I'll speak for myself, when I felt really stuck, I felt very like impatient. Like I
Mhm.
need to have this promotion right now, and
Yeah.
or else I'm gonna, you know, jump ship. Or there was the sense of urgency in wanting to change. So there was a lot of those feelings, but then there was also the feeling of, well, because I do need a promotion, like I'm at a certain salary level that, investing, it could be worthwhile. I wasn't sure. So there was kind of some back and forth. But
Mhm.
after our call that we had together, the first call, I knew you were the right choice because of the way that you listened, but also provided different options for us to coach. And I think
Mhm.
that for me was like, okay, so she's already addressed two of my concerns. One is like, yes, I do want to maybe like do something now, but it's going to take, steps to get there. But then the
Yeah.
other one being, I can make this work for my schedule and kind of where I'm at in my life right now.
Mhm.
So those two fears were definitely quieted down after our conversation.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And I love that you brought up the instant gratification, because I think we live in this
Mhm.
world of like, we wanted it yesterday, or
Yeah.
we want it in 2 days.
Mhm.
Like Amazon Prime has definitely conditioned us to believe everything is like at our fingertips.
Right.
But I like that you brought that up, because a lot of this is a journey. And
Mhm.
I mean, I primarily work with a lot of people too who are looking for career transitions, and a lot of
Mhm.
them are unemployed and they're like, I need a job tomorrow. And I want to be like, reality check, things don't happen that quickly. But if you
Right.
start today, you can
Mhm.
absolutely get there like a lot quicker than if you just navigate it on your own. So
Right. Right.
I love that you brought up that perspective. Okay,
Yeah.
so now let's talk about results, because I know that's what most people care about. Do you mind kind of just sharing like what you walked away with through this program, and just if you can quantify as much as possible, that's great. I know not everything's quantifiable, so just
Mhm.
kind of share the transformation in terms of where you were to where you are now.
Sure. So with that call, in addition to like kind of quieting those fears, I also gained so much clarity. So that
Mm,
was like the beginning and beginning of the journey, but also one of the great results from our time together was clarity and a lot of confidence. I feel a lot more confident being able how to, push back in a respectful way.
mm,
Um, Develop and work my way to this level 5 leadership, the idea where we all win. There are not winners or losers, everybody wins or nobody wins. And but also I was able to get that project manager position, as well as $12,500 in salary increase. And I also got a new project under my belt, by the way. So, which is
awesome.
exciting. And that project is the largest by revenue now. At first, I
Wow.
had the second one. Now I have both two projects.
Oh my gosh, you're such a value add to the organization. And they could probably like sense your confidence and your communication and your assertiveness, and are like, well, Joy is up for this challenge. And
Hmm.
yeah, and good that you have the title and the salary to reflect all of that as well.
Yeah,
So you're not
absolutely.
resentful.
No, no. I think when all of that happened, and it's so funny. It's like it took these steps. Like it took a couple months, but then it's just the abundance was then overflowing all at
Mm,
once. Like with the promotion and the new project, and then my team also, they let me know that they felt more motivated as well, which was a concern of mine. Like, how do I assert, my leadership in a way that's respectful, but yeah, motivational? And they came to me unprompted, saying that they enjoyed being part of my team.
mm,
And then even my CEO said, like, you're a great role model for others. So all these, you know, I guess accolades or acknowledgement that I've been
mhm,
hoping to get, just, exerting my confidence and assertiveness in, project meetings with clients it's starting to show. And
Yeah.
I think that praise for my team and for my boss was kind of like icing on the cake
Yeah.
for sure. So those were some of the results, but I generally like, I'm really glad we took the time together because, if I didn't take the time now, I don't know when I would have taken it. I would have kept
Mhm.
pushing it off.
Yeah, it's
And
easy to do that.
yeah, and I'm at a point in my life and career where that just can't happen. I need to do this
Mm.
right now.
That's so beautiful. And yes, I want to acknowledge the recognition because I think that is really key. And I know when we started working together, you had like this vision of like, this is the leader that I want to be. And I
Mm-hmm.
can totally see like the transformation and you really stepping into that. But it's really beautiful to hear that everybody else around you is just seeing that and acknowledging that and
Mm-hmm.
sharing that with you. So I think you're a tremendous leader and you should feel really
Wow.
confident. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this because you're right. Like you're at an age or stage of your career, and this is something that you're just going to carry with you for the rest of
Mm-hmm.
your decades
Mm-hmm.
until you retire, right?
Right.
That's awesome. And you're going to be a lot more confident too when you go in for those new positions or new organizations because you have all of these. Like, I hope that you're still writing down these achievements and
Mm-hmm.
accomplishments down. But yeah, I want you to like really reflect on that list before you go into any interview, anytime you're feeling like, wow, I had a terrible day, like just a really strong reminder because everything you're sharing here is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that was all attributed to your guidance and your accountability. Like those
Mm,
were kind of the takeaways as well, is that, I think knowing that we were going to meet like every 2 weeks, it
yeah.
forced me to write down all my goals and objectives and like, okay, what do I need to do before I meet with Emily? And that helped me stay accountable and then give us something to work on every time we met.
Oh, absolutely. I have a coach too, by the way, and
Oh, you do?
yeah, her investment was significantly higher, but it gives me a lot of accountability because I'm like, oh, shoot, I have to come prepared. And oh, I said I'm going to do this. Like now I really have to do this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
helpful.
Right. Yeah.
I totally get the accountability. Okay, so last question. If anybody were on the fence about career coaching, maybe I know a lot of people, they are scared. Like this is an investment in yourself. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us, we're not trained to do that other than paying I don't know, like $60,000 for student loans. We
Right.
don't really see, we see like investment for a house, we see investment for a car, but we don't really see coaching as like an investment in ourselves, or we're not trained for that. So talk to me about like if there were anybody watching that's like, I want to do this, but there's some fear there. Like, what would you say?
Sure. So I was thinking about this for quite some time, and I think the theme for me last year was that I kept getting in my own way.
Hmm.
So there have been some friends or some people who would maybe attribute maybe their drama or some of their negative experience to like outside sources.
Yeah.
When we think about it, in some cases those are, but for at least for me, speaking for myself, it was all about me getting in my own way and telling myself, no, I'm not good enough, or no, I don't deserve that raise. And
Hmm.
really had to kind of break down those reasons why I felt that way. And I think, some people might share that. And it is scary. I think it's scarier to know that we might be successful and we might be
Hmm.
really good at it. It's easier to think like, oh, we're not going to get it and then it's fine. But for anyone who is on the fence and is scared, to maybe think back, who's holding you back? Is it you or is it somebody
Hmm.
else? And
Yeah. It's
people are going to,
powerful.
yeah, people are going to say, things whether you're successful or you're not. So might as well be successful and, keep doing what works best for you. And, I go to therapy as well, and, trying to be more open about mental health, is
Hmm.
that I
Beautiful.
think having someone kind of listen, having a third party, a non-biased, impartial party listen really kind of helps put things into perspective. So I think that really helped, like having our career coaching time really
Hmm.
helped me. I know there are definitely sessions where, I would cry, and then like Emily, you would really help me kind of walk through kind of those blocks. And some of those blocks were things that I've imposed on myself, which
Yeah.
have gotten in the way for salary, especially being a woman in, a working professional woman. I don't want to keep putting myself further away from my goals. So I'd say give it a shot. You never know.
Mm. Thank you so much for opening up about that. And you're absolutely right. We like typically all of our blocks, like if we're not where we want to be in our lives or our
Mhm.
careers, it has to do with something internal,
Mhm.
and it has to do more internal than external. And so that's beautiful that you opened up about that, and also the fear of success, because
Mhm.
you're right on that too. A lot of us, we're used to being comfortable. We know, like, oh, at least this is predictable, and I know,
Right.
like, I know this is safe. But sometimes when people get promoted, they're like, oh shoot, like, am I really going to be a good manager? Like,
Mhm.
ooh, I really need to like show up every day and like work harder if I get this type of salary. But a lot of that is like still external validation, where like
Mhm.
deep down inside, we really need to just work on, no, like, this is what I'm worth, and this is what I am capable of. And I trust that if I'm not there yet, like, I can get there. And
Mhm.
that's just such a beautiful way of phrasing it and just opening up about that. And
Yeah.
I love that you're working on mental health. And
Mhm.
it's so important, because at the end of the day, like, our minds are our most powerful tools, and we need to
Right.
make sure that we're constantly programming that and nurturing that. But thank you
Right.
so much, Joy.
Aw.
I just want to ask, is there any other additional information or thoughts that you want to share?
Sure. I highly recommend you. You're amazing. It was super
You're
easy
making
to
my job easy, by the way. I forgot to ask that question. Yeah, would you recommend me?
Yeah, you're super easy to connect with and talk to. And
Mm,
the way that you ask questions, it's like, oh, I never thought of it this way. Like,
mm,
really kind of encourages me, like that accountability piece, right? It's like kind of encourages me to like, oh, I really need to kind of dig deeper into why I'm thinking this way and whatnot. But I've always left our sessions with like clarity and excitement to work on whatever the assignment was. And
mm.
whenever I did have good news, I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell Emily.
Ah,
So we've developed a really good relationship that way. And yeah, for anyone who really wants to kind of transform and be the best version that they could be, like Emily's a perfect person for that.
thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate it. And it's so good connecting. Yeah, I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate you too.
I'm going to hit pause